Welcome to the Women Are Smarter podcast. I am your host, Dennis Struzzulo. The Women Are Smarter podcast is brought to you by Mount Tam Media. Join us as we explore the journeys of women in the music industry, women-owned businesses and nonprofits, and other inspirational females making a difference in this world. We are proud to provide a platform for these incredible women so you can hear their stories.
Just a girl. I could change the world. You could change the world. We could change the world. So let's change the world.
Tammy Larson, so happy to have you to participate in our debut episode of the Women Are Smarter podcast today. My first question, as you are representing Mount Tam Media, is it just a coincidence that the name of the company is Mount Tam Media and your name is Tammy?
Yeah, didn't you know that Mount Tam was named after me?
So for listeners who don't know, Mount Tam, the colloquial Marin County designation of the wonderful place, it's Mount Tamalpais. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. Before we set up the Women Are Smarter podcast in general for our listeners, as we introduce it and also introduce today's inaugural episode, I thought you could quickly tell us a little bit more about Mount Tam Media and the affiliated Mill Valley Living magazine.
Hi, great to be here, Dennis. Thank you so much. So just a little bit of background. So Mill Valley Living, we are a magazine local to Mill Valley, California. For those listeners who are not aware of Mill Valley, California, it's a hotbed for some of the most brilliant creative minds, I think, on the planet. A lot of people came here in the 60s and 70s, musicians, artists, authors, and they all still live here. So our job is to find them and to highlight things that the community doesn't already know about them. So we're on about our 34th issue with that and decided to just expand some of the things that we've learned by just doing this magazine into a media platform, which is now Mount Tam Media. And we are adding podcasts, which this is part of that, and think tank sessions and immersive experiences. What we're trying to do is just curate collected intelligence that we found and get people talking and really discover new alternatives and ways of looking at things, and then turning those into actual physical experiences as well, getting feedback from those and feeding it back into what we call a revolutionary community hub that Mount Tam is.
I have to say, first of all, thank you for giving us this platform here to bring our Women Are Smarter podcast, and we're very honored and thrilled to be part of that vision of yours and part of Mount Tam Media. So thank you for that. Lisa Mackey sat down with us during the set break during Dark Star Orchestra's Saturday evening headlining performance, which was very cool. She hails from Chicago, the Chicago music scene. She was from a small town outside in Illinois. And as the website of the Dark Star Orchestra website says, I'm going to quote that, Lisa pours her heart and soul into her singing with Dark Star Orchestra, which
she does.
She does, which is a testimonial to her love for music and now the Grateful Dead. She has been a vocalist with that band for almost 25 years, which is amazing. She couldn't hardly believe that herself. And then we have Sunshine Becker Garcia, who I mentioned earlier, who is really helpful and instrumental, has become a collaborator and a partner of ours on this endeavor and on hers. Sunshine is the accomplished leader of the Sunshine Garcia Band, a rock and soul band really featuring a stellar lineup of the jam band's most talented musicians, really from one coast to the other. She previously enjoyed stints with Box Set and Passenger, and in 2009 joined Further as one of the backing vocalists, playing with former Grateful Dead members Bob Weir and Phil Lesh, as well as with John Kadlecek, formerly of Dark Star Orchestra, Jeff Chimenti and Jay Lane, now with Dead and Company, and Joe Russo of Joe Russo's Almost Dead. So quite a pedigree of people she has collaborated with.
And she has such low energy.
She's very energetic.
She is amazing.
And she's lovely, as you will hear, and just passionate, which I love. And I'm going to say this, as she announced, because she announced it at the festival during one of her performances. She is not Jerry Garcia's daughter. And I think that gets confused sometime. And making it even more complicated, she's not Ken Kesey's daughter, Sunshine Kesey, either. And the reason that comes up is because Sunshine Kesey is the daughter of Ken Kesey and Mountain Girl, Jerry's second wife. So just to cause confusion, there it all is.
That's very interesting.
So she is her own person, and she is quite a person. And finally, there are Helena Janusz and Lisa Marlsberger, the front woman and the powerhouse vocalists for Jerry's Middle Finger, who are based in Los Angeles. In large part due to these ladies, delivers what I would say is the best Jerry Garcia tribute experience you can find
it's incredible.
The women are smarter, that's right. The women are smarter, that's right. The women are smarter. The women are smarter, that's right.
So much for taking a break during set break.
My pleasure.
Yes, Lisa Mackey with us here at the Days Between.
Hello.
And this is Dennis Struzillo hosting the Women Are Smarter podcast. And that title itself, I believe, had some influence in getting Lisa to agree to speak to us. Is that somewhat true?
Yeah, I kind of have some friends. I actually don't kind of. I do have some lady friends who are, the brown-eyed women.
Yes.
Jill Simmons and Denise Parent. And they're very much advocates of explaining to people what it's like to be a woman out here. And I wanted to honor that.
Well, that's wonderful because they were supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And that's we could talk about that separately.
Right.
So you get to speak. When you say out here in the music land,
yeah,
Grateful
just
Dead land?
in the field, on this level, being a woman with a majority of others who are not women. And it's a journey. It's an interesting journey.
Well, and so, let me tell you what we want to talk about on this podcast. It's sort of the intersection of what's happening to women's rights now, which are attacked and compromised and going in, going in a trajectory that is opposite that I ever thought it would go in. So with that compromise and that threat, that is sort of at the intersection of, I think, what you're talking about, women trying to gain themselves and going through the journey. Time for water for me. Excuse me.
I understand. Trust me, I was covered up with a wet do-rag because I didn't want to choke.
Hopefully Matt can edit that out. Anyway, the intersection of the political situation, where we are, that journey that you spoke about, and I imagine that journey has had ups and downs, special challenges, because you're a woman, and now you would think that was sort of people like brown-eyed women breaking through, but I don't know. Is that happening? Tell us what you think.
What do I think?
It's a lot.
It is a lot. The fact of the matter is, women are all people, not just women, men, whatever your decision, whatever your direction. Everyone is on an equal playing field. And that's just the fact. And there's been a history of subjugation and control by certain, the dominant cultures, if you will.
Right.
And it's time for that to change. We need to break through that. And it's just going to take some people more time, I think, to really understand that this is a fact that has been denied people, whether you're Aboriginal people, people of color, people who are in transition, whatever your choices are. These people, we are all equal. We are. And it's a fact.
Isn't that what we're all about here at the Days Between?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Doesn't it? Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
I look at the crowd, I look at myself, I go, I have everything. It doesn't matter what we all look at. I have everything in common with these people. We're all connected, Well, tell me some of the, on that journey, some of the real challenges for
Menopause, without question.
And that, right? Okay. And that was very recent.
Well, I'm 63, so it was probably, I don't know, it started at 53. It's a journey. It's a transition.
Separate journey. And then, okay, so that aside, what about dealing with all these men in this industry? I'm going to say men. I'm going to go ahead and say the M word.
It's okay. Well, my particular group of men have always been loving and kind and supportive. and flawed,
Right.
just like I am. So they have put up with my flaws. I put up with theirs. I mean, honestly, I think it's going to be 25 years that we've been doing this, and it just feels like unreal somehow. I was serendipitously driven into this path, and I'm really shocked sometimes when I sit back and think about how long I've been here. And we have not really had that many challenges. I mean, we really, honestly, when it's all said and done, have you ever heard the adage, just don't get too hungry, too lonely, too tired?
Yes, that's
Well, I think that happens sometimes. You're not at your best, and everyone needs to vent. And there's a learning curve with all of that. And living on a bus with, well, in my particular instance, all men. And I've been lucky from the perspective that I've always gravitated toward men, and learned even just recently in my life how to garner relationships, adult relationships with women. And I was an only child. I was poorly socialized as a child, and it took me a long time to figure out how to navigate the waters of adulthood.
Yes, well,
So
aren't we all still doing that?
it is a process. Yeah.
Being with, in your case, all men for these 25 years, I'm talking about professionally, is that a different feeling than being one of the guys? Do you want to be one of the guys, or do you want to be a woman with the guys? I mean, I'm just answering my question as I speak it out, I think.
Actually, I think I'm both.
You know?
I do. If I require brute upper body strength, I can call on someone who has upper body strength. If I feel like I need to have a moment, which we all need.
Yes.
I mean, it isn't particularly just the purview of women. I mean, everybody needs it. I get support. It's been such a remarkable journey, really, when I think about it.
And her eyes are twinkling as she says that.
Just really has.
I mean, what do you have? What advice would you give the brown-eyed women, for example? Because Sunshine Garcia has said, there's not enough women here at this festival, and we're going to talk to her tomorrow.
She's another force of nature. What would I give the advice? Well, I think the brown-eyed women they're in a kind of a class by themselves, because they're playing this music in a traditional way with all women.
Yes.
So that makes them sort of separate and apart from us to begin with. We stuck with the classic plan. And, everybody has an idea of how to perform this music that loves it so much. There's just all different kinds of people. They innovate. I mean, I've heard bluegrass versions of Stella Blue.
Right.
And just really innovative, amazing stuff. So I think that I suppose their challenges may be in the production department. I don't know who their production people are. I don't know if they're doing their own right now, because they're sort of on their way up. So,
I'm just wondering, as a group, as a women group, do you think that's a special challenge, trying to break into this?
Yep.
Why is
Yep.
that? I mean, not why,
because
but yeah.
I
tell me.
will quote someone who I will not name that said that it is a shtick.
Right.
It was kind of a just a dismissive kind of. It's a kind of.
Oh.
And
right.
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. That person was a man, by the way. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. Surprise. Yeah.
I think that they're still relatively new on the scene, and it's going to take some time for people to be able to take them seriously.
Right.
Not that everyone isn't already, but I'm sure there are some people who have, I wasn't sucked into the Grateful Dead right away. I was like, okay, I don't think so. And then people kept going, no, you gotta, they knew better than I did. I'm like, no, oh, really? Oh. And then here I am 25 years later, so.
Well, you would say it has to be authentic, but you can learn it. I mean,
you can
once it hits you, right?
There's something there that just is resonating for all of us. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
It's not going to be for everyone, but it is for us.
Boy, isn't it though?
We're celebrating that.
Yeah. So how do we get more women involved? How do we get more women at this playing in bands that are participating in this festival?
I think it's up to the women. I think they need to be interested enough in the music to want to go put it out there and perform it. or there's so many talented, amazing musical women that choose their own pathways, and I think they just need to for me, it was a hard sell.
It was a hard sell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. And then I did.
Yeah. And boy,
And-
did you.
I mean, people are so, I remember one time being in somewhere where they were asking each one of us, what was your experience, your first show experience? And, people were, they were just hooked right away. They just got it right away. And they got to me, and I left after the second song. I mean, I just did, I just didn't.
Well, yeah.
I didn't get it, and then it's just a late bloomer.
And
I
then
mean,
you
it
do.
took me a while.
We have someone at the table here who happens to be the founder of Mount Tam Media, who is the platform for this. That's Tammy, which we didn't introduce, but we'll edit you in. Tammy didn't get it until, what song was it?
Cassidy.
Oh.
Yeah. It was, all those things happen when they're singing, like those birds are flying. Something was happening that went right along with the song.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and that's just the way it is. But, yeah. I just, and when I am in the audience, I realize there's a lot of guys out there, right? There's a lot of men in the audience, just by and large. Now that's changed as the Grateful Dead music has evolved into the younger crowd. I'm seeing a lot more young men and women and others, I guess. Well, I'm so glad that you stuck it out for 25 years.
Me too, it turns out. I really am.
You
It was
know?
my niche. This is what I was meant to do.
It's just fabulous. And I have to say, if you won't mind giving you a compliment, but last night, Lisa said she wasn't going to be here, not going to perform, and then somehow she showed up, and then somehow she came on for the encore and did a White Rabbit that just rocked this canyon. All the leaves were shivering.
Yeah, I'm so lucky from the perspective that I have the vocal range that Grace Slick had, so I can sing those songs. And the band, when you're in the show moment, it's a very in the moment. I don't know how they do it, play and sing.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I can play the harmonica a little. I can sing.
You definitely can't play the harmonica and sing. I know
No.
that.
And so, I mean, they really are. I don't know how they do that. So when they get to the point where it's the end of the night, it depends on how much time we have, and they're just, what do you want to play? What do you want to sing, Lisa? And I can never choose.
Right.
I don't know what to sing.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. Just throw me a song. And so I said, you know what? I want to sing White Rabbit tonight because I feel like these people will enjoy it.
Oh, boy.
So we do an extended Rabbit with a guitar solo in the center. And Cotter Michaels, our front of house engineer, is tremendous at what he does, and a lot of it is up to their front of house, the technicians. They can make you or break you. You know what I mean? And he's always just into it, loves the music so much, and just puts it out there, and it was just, everything worked. So,
Oh, good. I'm glad you felt that way because I just thought it was incredible.
Thanks.
Yeah, you nailed it. You and Cotter.
yes, Cotter,
Absolutely.
and the band. I mean,
and the band,
it
everybody.
had something to do with
You know
it.
what I was expecting when it was over? It was the encore, the last song, and I thought, Rob, was it, that said, good night, everybody. I thought he was going to say, Lisa Mackey, everybody. Lisa Mackey.
Sometimes he does that. but
Yeah.
Not all
And
the
then I
time.
thought, is this a topic for the Women Are Smarter? He didn't mention her name.
It's okay.
That's okay. I didn't think you'd
Yeah.
really be upset at that.
no.
Do you have a favorite Dead song?
But, ooh, that's a left field.
It rotates.
Between
Well, Althea, because that's the song where I got it. The light
Oh.
bulb went on.
Ooh, I got chills.
I did too.
I got chills.
I love Cassidy. I love China Cat, Sunflower, Mountains of the Moon. I mean, I could go on.
Yeah, so you got.
I know, and I'm like
Well, in 25 years, the rotation has
Yeah.
been real, right?
Mountains of the Moon
wheel
is
goes
such a
round.
beautiful song. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my goodness! Are you going to give us a little sneak preview of which one of those we might hear tonight? The second set. We won't
Did
tell
I look
anybody.
At the second set? Did I look at it? I did look at it, and of course, it is just
Blanking on you.
Yep, it is.
Okay.
Being honest with you,
I'm not at the van.
That's okay. We will know it when we hear it. Right? Well, I'm just really thank you for taking your time at your break. I have
been my
one
pleasure.
parting question. Given the title of our podcast here, "The Women Are Smarter." The women are smarter because
we're women.
I'll take it. And let me tell you, I asked that because almost every man I asked that question to agrees with the comment, so I don't feel badly asking women to answer it, and yours is great. Thank you so much,
so much,
Lisa
you guys.
Mackey.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes, okay. Have a great second set.
Enjoy your evening.
Okay, will do. Bye.
The women are smarter, that's right. The women are smarter, that's right. The women are smarter. Women are smarter, that's right. That's right.
We will get to our discussions with the ladies in just a moment, but first, we'd like to thank and hear from our sponsor helping make this podcast possible. This episode of the Women Are Smarter podcast is sponsored by the Sports and Entertainment Practice Group of the O'Hagan Meyer Law Firm. O'Hagan Meyer is a proud holder of a Mansfield Rule certification, reflecting an ongoing commitment to consider a broad pool of candidates as it hires and promotes by intentionally including lawyers who identify as members of historically underrepresented groups. The Mansfield Rule is named after Arabella Mansfield, the first woman admitted to the practice of law in the United States. Mansfield Rule certification reaffirms O'Hagan Meyer's commitment to equity and inclusion. The firm has a national scope with offices in San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, Boston, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C., and can be found on the web at o'haganmeyer.com. And now, back to the show.
The women are smarter, that's right. The women are smarter, that's right. The women are smarter. Women are smarter, that's right. That's right.
Okay, good afternoon. Good, pleasant afternoon here at the Black Oak Ranch at the last day of the Days Between Music Festival just outside of Laytonville. And we are so pleased to be here at this festival, but even more pleased to host another episode of The Women Are Smarter with three lovely, smart women in my presence and our presence. They are Sunshine Garcia Becker, Helena Janusz, and Lisa Marlsberger. Welcome. And I understand that the three of you will be singing together, performing together in just a couple of hours right here on location, and that is something we can't wait for. So let me tell you about The Women Are Smarter. You know everything about the fact that women are smarter, but what this is, this podcast series is meant to explore that intersection of what's going on now politically or just in our country with respect to women's rights being severely compromised and really regressing from certainly from how I knew it growing up in San Francisco. The intersection of that and the journey, the struggles, the challenges that women have to go through in the music industry in particular. Because in my view, that would be something that is hopefully on the rise, the success of that journey, getting there a little bit easier. There's a little more openness, a little more acceptance for women. The challenges lessen maybe a little bit. I'm sure they're still there. At the same time, we have this opposite trajectory of what I spoke about with in our political times. And so I had thought this is a wonderful time to go back to the challenges of the women in the industry and see how it all kind of flows together. So that is the general subject matter. I'm going to start with you, Sunshine. I just want to hear your thoughts, well, just in general, what I just said, and also maybe elaborate on some of your journey. I'm not going to say struggles, but you may say that, but some of the journey of progressing as you have in this industry.
Thank you, my friend. Well, it certainly has been a journey, and I think that we're lucky enough to kind of find ourselves in some bubbles where, like here at Days Between Festival, things are a little better because we're sitting here and we're going to do a set of music together. I had to work really hard to make that happen, and so did Tamara, and we all did, like to do all the other side gigs that we're doing as well. So in our scene, specifically the jam band, Grateful Dead scene, that's kind of what I know best because I'm a Deadhead and that's what I love. And so that's its own thing. And then there's sort of the bigger picture, right, of the country that we live in and the communities that we spend time in or don't spend time in. So there's a lot of ways to sort of approach this. But I guess what I want to share about my journey so far is there just needs to be space for us, and we need to be called, and we need to be paid just as much, and we have so much to say, and these songs can be sung by women well.
Well, that is for sure. You know, and you mentioned Tamara. That's Tamara Klemner, who we actually had the pleasure of interviewing before you guys, along with her partner in this endeavor, and it was just fascinating. And she talked about some of the difficulties in booking acts for this particular festival that included women. Why is that? Do you have any particular answer to that, Sunshine?
I think it's just like every other band. It's really expensive right now to tour, and if you don't have a major full-time booking agent or production money behind you, or a big name that is connected to your band in the scene, it's really hard to do it right now for any band. So
Yeah.
I don't know that it's any different for a women's band or not. I think it's just, you know, if you don't live in California, it costs a lot of money to go to a festival.
Yeah,
In
that's for
California.
sure.
You know, to go
Well, how
do it.
about, ladies, you're here from Los Angeles. Is that correct? All right. What are your, I'll start with you, Helena. Just your thoughts on the intersection I described with respect to the industry and our culture now.
Well, I mean, I agree with Sunshine. I like the way she put it in terms of what really what women need right now, and in this scene as well, is, you know, is a place, and just an opportunity, and a call.
Call us.
You know,
Right.
to
Pick up
do
the phone.
it. You know, and as people know, and it's an interesting thing to see in our country, what's happening now in terms of women leadership in our country and where that's taking us, and in terms of the women's vote, you know, in Georgia and places where, you know, it's women, and particularly women of color, that are making a huge difference and sort of saving our asses in a big way right now. And that's the power that we have, that when we're given a chance and an opportunity. So to be losing our freedom and losing power is horrendous, because we're just feeling, I mean, in my generation, in our generation, I feel like, you know, we've traveled through some little, I don't know what the word would be, but we've definitely traveled through some yes, and some changes, you know, to see some development on this scene. And like you said, having women here at this festival is a testament to kind of where we're at in terms of the music. It is starting to happen, and it's great. Lisa and I having this opportunity in JMF is, you know, we both front really great jam bands in LA that have put out albums and CDs and done festivals and done bits of touring regionally, and we have fans, you know, but without that extra step of money behind you, or an agent that's picked you up, an agency that'll work with you, it's tough, you know. So then here we are, we have this opportunity now in this band, we, you know, joining forces. Our bands have done lots of work together in the past. We've done lots of shows and singing together, but this is the first time we've ever been in a band together. So it's interesting for both of us, and I would imagine Lisa would agree, being front women and then coming into this scenario and doing what we're doing. That being said, these vocals in Jerry's Middle Finger, the vocals in JGB, are huge. Whether it was Maria and Donna, or whether it was Gloria and Jackie, or Shirley and Cheryl, I mean, or Sunshine and Lady Chi and the rest. It's been for me an inspiration vocally. To get to a point of being able to sing this stuff. So people were like, how does it feel? People ask me to be singing backups, you know, and I'm like, you don't understand, you know, because it's like this, these are big, huge, awesome, beautiful harmonies that are a really integral part of making this music happen. And so we feel like, you know, we feel well loved and established and accepted on the scene through that. But it's interesting that it took that to get there.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting journey for us and for me in that way.
Lisa, tell us,
yeah.
elaborate, because
Yeah.
I know you've been listening to everything she said.
Well, absolutely. Music is hard to break into, period, in the Bay Area or in Southern California. I mean, we're so saturated with so many quality artists. I've always been a really big fan of the Jerry Garcia band specifically. So I kind of feel like the universe is talking to me, giving me this opportunity to play this music on this scale. And like Sunshine and Helena both agreed, the music industry is a better place for women now. There's still some struggles, but I'm spend a lot of time observing just how backwards our society is now. I'm past my childbearing years. My kids are 15, 13, and 11. And I came up as a young woman in a time where I had complete autonomy over my body. And I can't even begin to explain how desperate and useless it feels to watch everything happening right now. And really one of the only saving graces at this current moment, and I hope it comes down like a tidal wave, are these states like Kansas being able to represent themselves and their own state
amazing.
Constitutions.
Yep. Amazing.
And I hope wherever these, whatever direction whack jobs are leaning, you need to stand
say it
up.
directly and
You need to stand
succinctly.
up for the autonomy of human beings, period. Especially us women. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wouldn't be where I am right now if I didn't have autonomy over my own body. And every single woman I have encountered in my life has experienced something that's uncomfortable to talk about. And the grace that we've all had in our developmental years is our autonomy, the chance to remove ourselves from any situation and build whatever foundation we wanted to build. And now our young sisters basically have been cobbled. And I feel a lot more about it than I can articulate because my brain just goes to absolute mush.
I think you just did pretty well.
I was going to say the same
Yeah,
thing.
What's
that-
really,
really well
important,
said,
though,
really well
is to just do what we can. It really is time to stand up.
Boy, I mean, if I
Make it to the damn polls. Come on.
If I
Take
could
a damn sick day
say,
at work if you
I'd
have
like to
to.
describe
Yeah.
what this whole podcast series is about. You just said it, and thank you for that.
Thanks
do
for
you-
having us
Do you,
here.
do you think
this
there's
is a beautiful place for everybody listening. We're in this grove of beautiful oak trees, and there's a beautiful music playing in the background. Holy moly!
Yeah. I have thought that the entire weekend. I mean, just sitting here, there's always the music in the background, right? And it's just beautiful. And Tamara told us about, and Biasha told us about just the power of this land, how it affects people, whether she's second generation, Biasha is, but people come and connect with it in some way. And so that's all coming to. Do you think there is a role that music has into getting the message out, Lisa, that you were just espousing? Is there a way music can help? I mean, certainly music over the years has been influential with movements, several of them. I'll throw that out to anybody, but it just occurred to me.
Absolutely, 100%. Music is how you change the world.
Yeah.
Music is the language that everybody will speak and listen.
Yeah.
And
Universal.
yeah. What comes to mind is Natasha Weir standing on stage for the whole second set. Like, brings tears to my eyes to think about it. Holding a sign that said "Vote"
Yeah. And her
in front of 10,000 people.
and her
you know?
beautifully designed T-shirts that she.
Yes, which I tried to get, and by the way, the guys in the band agreed to wear them, but they can't make it to the mountain sometime.
I got to say something. I tried to get one too for this podcast.
Yeah, our guys
I was
were going to be sporting those shirts,
Yeah.
but we didn't get it.
That's all right.
Next one.
Yeah, they have them in black and in pink.
Hopefully, we won't need shirts like that next year.
Yeah.
No, but it's yes, and I think the Grateful Dead have, I think here we are honoring Jerry Garcia, and I think for the most part he was trying to be not political in all things, right? He was
Sure.
like just everybody everybody express themselves like we are here this weekend, and whatever it is, I never saw the Grateful Dead, and certainly Jerry being political. But what Dad and Company did, I think, when Roe v. Wade was overturned and when Texas started their first laws, was pretty impactful. With taking
Yeah.
a stance.
It's the message that's found in the community of Deadheads that I think maybe didn't always exist in the business of the Grateful Dead, right? But out on the lot, people took care of each other.
That's right.
I can attest to that. And they respected each other, and they gave each other space and this autonomy that Lisa talks about. So much of what we're dealing with now, you pick the wrong word and people can't hear the message, but in the music they can hear it. And you don't have to be political with music to change politics.
That's right.
You can just do you, and that's enough.
Throw out the lifeline to handle quick and strong. When we have each other, how the heck can we be wrong? No more to tarry. All the waters they flow through. Just reach for me and I'll pull you.
I'll tell you, it's interesting. You're saying that as I'm having this thought about the fact also, like looking at it from the other side, being a person who cares about what's going on in the world and is concerned about things that are happening, to be able to get up there and put your emotions into what you're singing, whether it's that emotion is getting across to other people, to be able to do that yourself is also it's a gift, to be able to sink into some of this stuff and some of these songs and get it out, and then if it is being carried across in a way that people are picking it up and feeling that emotion, and it's giving them some sense of what we all need to be doing and where we should all be focusing, then that's even better.
Yeah, beautifully said. Sunshine, you mentioned being on sort of both sides, being on the business side. Well, you didn't mention that, but I know you've been both on the, quote, business side and on the Deadhead side, so to speak. And the people out in the parking lot, yes, we all understand how they are. We've all been one of them.
We have one of every kind.
Yes, but on the business side, what are some of the specific challenges as a woman you had to face, on the business side? I mean, I'm going back to Further and things of that nature.
Constantly being offered less money.
Equal pay.
Yeah, equal pay. It's a nice way to say it.
Yes.
Getting jacked.
That's
yeah. And just, we're worth it.
and no explanation for that. No, it's just you get this much and you get that much.
I think early on, we are creators of art. And so at some point in all of our lives, I think we've had to come to a place where we have to sort of put value, like what value is our art to ourselves and as we share it. And I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
And I'll still go sing for children for free and pretty much, but there is value to what this gift that has been given to us, we should do so business wise. I'll kind of start there, and money makes things easier. It's just how it works.
Yeah.
So
it's unavoidable sometimes. Yeah.
Money, the necessary evil.
I never heard that. Where did you just come up with
So why not do good with it?
Right, exactly. So, Lisa, you've alluded to earlier, you've gotten to a place now where you've broken through some barriers to get to where you can actually have a voice. But to get there, what were some of the challenges that you experienced besides not getting paid the same? As a woman, I should say.
Oh, God. As a woman,
we
each come with a unique story and a unique background behind us. And I don't know a lot about Sunshine's background. I know quite a bit about Helena's. I know Helena and I both grew up without our dads. And we both have done a lot of supporting ourselves since we were a lot younger than most people were used to. And success and love and happiness and giving back is a perspective and a choice. And I'm so thankful that that's the spectrum that my heart and my hardwiring fell into, because I'm just, by the grace of God, I'm here, and I joined this little beautiful Jerry product that got heard and seen. If it wasn't for JMF, I know I would never be on a level like this, and I still kind of feel separated from it myself in a certain sense. I'm a giant 48-year-old child. I'm never going to grow up. There's always going to be something that makes me starstruck about some of these incredible musicians that I see that have evoked a lot of these feelings in me through the years. A lot of the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, that's some
Every
full
single
circles, a lot of full
repertoire
circle
of the
moments.
Jerry Garcia band, and especially Dr. John, Malcolm Rebnick. Those are 3 forms of music that actually solidified me and helped bring me here today, and my beautiful family and my kids. By the grace of God, I'm standing here looking at you right now. I would just be some singing dental hygienist down in Southern California with a story like a million others like me times 10 have. But I'm the lucky one sitting at this table
And
right
you're
now.
recognizing that. And
Oh,
you're
absolutely.
thankful.
I will
Gratitude
never
is-
not see
yes,
that.
of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I want to speak to the gratitude for a minute, because I felt it so much because of JMF, because of Jerry's Middle Finger, because until a few days ago we had never met.
But
in
I already
person.
feel like I knew you.
Of course, because they would call me to sub in for her when she wasn't able to.
Oh my God, you guys, Sunshine Garcia sits in for me when I'm busy. Can you believe it?
But
Does that
then I
make you
would-
nervous?
But here's the thing. But then I get to go. I left JGB on my own accord, and that's what I needed to do for my family at the time, and for me. But then I missed the music so much. But then I come here and I get to do it with this amazing woman, Helena, who loves it just as much as I do, and like is dedicated to it, and it matters. The notes matter, and the inflections matter, and vibrato matters, and you know, and another thing that I love about you that is just how you hold space on stage, right? And so getting to now, for us to all 3 of us be together in this moment,
I'm
and
excited
then
about
later on stage, it's going to be really wonderful.
So this will be the first moment the 3 of you have sang together on stage?
Well,
Yeah.
Besides,
Yes.
I mean, before an
On
audience?
stage.
absolutely.
That's pretty special. Yeah.
Yep.
We can't wait over here
Yeah,
on
we're
the Mount
excited.
Tam Media.
Friends are God's apology for family.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Amen to that. So, so what would you? So there are a lot of women that would like to be here, like to be sitting in your seat, and are trying to do that.
Any of them are welcome to come sit in my lap. I'll share my seat.
I was going to say, well, I have one sitting here to my left, who is a wonderful artist in the Redding, California area,
Nice.
Anna J. And so speak to her since she's right here. What advice would any of you have for a young woman singer, songwriter, musician, breaking through in this still heavily male-dominated industry?
I would like the first word that comes to mind for me is perseverance, because persistence, because it takes that even more of that. You know, the whole thing about Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers dancing backwards in heels. Everything that Fred Astaire did, she did backwards in heels. It can be that way sometimes because,
I like that analogy.
in that, you know, it's like you have a little. There's a little further you have to go to prove yourself. There's a few more steps that have to be taken, and it just is. It's still that way. It hasn't changed. It's still that way, but it is getting better. But if you're persistent, and you do hold your space, you know,
Figuratively.
and
you know.
figuratively and literally.
I'm gonna try just a little bit harder.
I've been really fortunate in all the bands that I've been a member of have all been equal partnerships. I have not experienced, other than other bands that have hired me, where I haven't questioned what other people were making, but I'm pretty sure maybe on a particular gig or whatever, I might have gotten less than some of the other band members. But in all the projects that I've been in, including this one, it is an equal partnership, and I have a lot of and not just in terms of pay or whatever, in terms of input. And in Jerry's Metal Finger, our opinions matter,
That's wonderful.
and our decisions are important. And the guys are incredibly respectful and welcoming. You know that because you've been
And you're
here
not
such
saying
time.
that just because
I
they're
adore
sitting-
them. They're wonderful.
Just because they're sitting
we're
close
lucky
by.
to have a crew of amazing gentlemen to work with, and so I have been fortunate in all the bands I've been in to work with guys that have been very welcoming and respectful of what I have to bring. And because of that, I've been able to grow and produce an album and book gigs and take the band on a tour somewhere or whatever. I've been able to do all of that. I've worn all the hats in a band.
Right.
I've fronted them and led them and done all of that. So it's and without that acceptance and that respect, I wouldn't have been able to have all those experiences, and all of that is what I bring to this. And one of the reasons, there was a lot I've been able to do even for Jerry's Metal Finger in the beginning, and was able to push and get some gigs going for the band and get us some things that hadn't happened yet, a couple of opportunities that, like Topanga, where we kind of blew up at Corazon.
Corazon.
Some things that I was able to kind of open a door for, and without them being open to that and welcoming it, that wouldn't have happened. So,
Yeah. So you rise up with each other too.
yes,
You help each other.
Garrett likes to say all boats rise together.
Yes.
He says that often, and I love that.
I've heard in some of these interviews a common theme or a message to give to other females trying to break through and persevering is to beware of the competitiveness with other females.
Yeah.
What do you
Good
think
point.
about
And when
that?
my 11-year-old son was only 7 years old, he said something really profound to me that speaks to this point, but it also transcends into everything else about life. And you hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of competitiveness from dudes, but there's a lot of competitiveness from other ladies. Here's the deal. It doesn't matter what they think. It only matters how they feel.
Sit with that.
Stay in your lane in a glorious way, fly your freak flag, and be unapologetically you. And just because someone else is having a bad day doesn't mean you have to dim your shine. And you can still be kind to them in the meantime.
Yeah,
Period. Be unapologetically you.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And don't beat each other up.
No, you gotta carry your sisters
Yeah.
along with you.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
Cheer for your brethren.
Yes.
My goodness.
I think the only piece of advice that comes to mind right now is be nice.
Yes.
Because if you're nice, then even if that competitive little thing, pokes in there, if you're nice, then it balances out.
Yeah.
And we can all just go hang.
Yeah, if
You
you just
know?
roll that way, you make it a point of always rolling with it and being positive and
Yeah.
being
Yeah, we talked
kind.
about
kindness.
with Tamara, fair, firm, and friendly, right? Fair, firm, and friendly. Just,
Firm and friendly.
you know?
And also, as my mom says, no is a complete sentence. Thank you very much.
Period.
I love that. Oh, that's good.
Sunshine, here's something that you mentioned to me when we were chatting about this, about, being a female, maybe especially in the jam band scene, the dead scene, but it could be any music genre, where there's this feeling, well, okay, you're just one of the guys. Hey, Sunshine's one of the guys. That's not what you want to be. Is that right? Or do you?
Sometimes.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I like the guys.
I
Yeah.
like the guys
Yeah.
too.
I like the guy. I think if you can hang out and do this, you
got the right
kind of
ones,
sort of
that's
like
strong.
Yeah, yeah.
dudes, kind of.
Yeah.
But also, like, I'm not a dude, and if I need to be in the mirror for like 2 more minutes or an hour,
Exactly.
please be patient with me.
Thank you very much.
Zach, could you turn your head?
You might have,
It's as if they're in the
I told
dressing
guys they
room
might
now.
have
So
gear
you-
to carry, but I got to do my makeup.
okay, I was wondering what you meant by that. So yeah, there's moments where maybe you don't remember saying it, but
I do remember saying it. Yeah, and because it's so male dominated, you kind of have to be part of
Yeah.
just one of the guys. Sometimes
that's not a bad thing. I
It's
mean,
not a bad thing. And again, if you just are all nice to each other, right? And like what you said, people remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
and that's what I love about JMF is just everyone's so wonderful and respectful and nice and easy to laugh. You know, and I want to make music with people like that, and I want to go change the world with people like that, like my buddy Zach, that's here over there looking at me.
With all due respect to Zach, any aspirations of getting more women in a band that you're fronting?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. The guitar players that I want that are female, they're busy right now.
Right. Yes.
Um,
Well, we had
But-
go ahead.
yeah, there's my dream baby project is Women Play Dead,
Yes.
and it's, you know, it's probably me singing backups because it's like Bonnie Raitt and Susan Tedeschi, and you know, why not?
Why not?
I mean, Peter Shapiro will do it.
Yes.
Right, Pete? You out there? You
that's
listening?
right. He will be.
Hook it
We're going to
up.
get this to them.
Right? So let's
yeah.
do that.
The ultimate.
Yeah.
But that's
You
gonna
sing
take
lead,
time.
and Helena and I'll do backups.
Yeah, but Bonnie and Susan, come
Come
on.
on, let's go.
You know, I feel like you two ladies, I think you said that you're fronting the band. I mean, it seems to me, it doesn't seem like backing vocals to me. It seems like out front.
Well, you know, it's interesting because we just sort of set up that way. They were just setting us up that way, and it was never thought to put us back from the front. You know, and they've got us right there, and it's been a.
It's perfect.
It's just
I
the
think
formula
it's been
that
a-
works for the JMF family.
It doesn't, and
It's
it's
just
been
perfect,
a thing
yeah.
because it helps us to engage the audience more, you know, and there's a connection that we have, and when the guys are playing and we're hanging out dancing and there's a jam going on, you know, it gives us an opportunity to look around the room
That's
and connect
right.
with people and be a part of the whole thing with them.
Which is very cool. I mean, when I first saw you guys at the Sweetwater Mill Valley, I was like, wow, this is so cool, these two.
That's cool.
And then you even said, hey, I recognize your face. So I was like, wow, she's actually looking at the audience. That's really cool. Wow. Okay. So you guys are amazing. The three of you together.
That's a big word. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you are, and it just feels like I'm having my moment here at the ranch right now, just being with you guys, and yeah, it feels funny for the a male perhaps to be hosting this, but at the same time, it's, you know, Sunshine
I'm going
said,
to
"Well,
interject real quick. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt
Please
you,
do.
but this is
Thank you.
something I think about a lot, okay? And see, I'm not attacking you, so I hope it doesn't feel that way, but this is on my mind every goddamn day. So yes, us women feel like we're being assaulted. I need all my brothers and all the fathers and all the uncles and all the cousins and every single man that loves us to stand up and be just as upset as we are. Join us in this. Do not stand back and observe. Link up arms. Let's make some chains around the world and pull ourselves out of this shit.
Throw out the lifeline with your hands sure and strong. If you're a Christian, why linger so long? See, he is sinking. Why don't you wait? Throw out your lifeline before it's too late.
have I said I love this woman?"
We need the fellas.
Yeah.
We need y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for those words, for being here. I do have one thing I have to. You ready? You better loosen up, Lisa. I got another one for you, for all of you.
I am listening all the time. I'm an
And well, thank you for
uncomfortable
that. And
silent
no, I'm
observer
not
right now.
offended. And I'm here to be in
society,
terms of a
that is.
punching bag for those men who aren't doing that. But obviously, I am very just involved in this issue, and thus this
Yes.
episode,
Thank
these
you for the
episodes, and I can't wait to. It's been so well received by everyone, starting from Sunshine down to Helena right away. Yes, I'll do this.
Yeah.
And it's gone that way, and there's just. And I'm trying to weave a fabric of the issues that all of you bring up and kind of put them together in one place so that we can really get a message out. But I'd like to close with this, and I have a incomplete sentence I'd like you ladies to fill out for me. And it goes along with the title of the podcast. The women are smarter because...
we can't give away our secrets. Are you kidding?
Sorry, we still have a war.
Oh, I don't know. One reason maybe is because through necessity or just maybe just genetically, I don't know, but we observe, we watch. We have to observe and pay real damn close attention to what's going on in order to be able to make our way in the world.
Wow.
And so maybe that's why.
Good answer. Good answer. You guys want to just defer to that as being the answer? Or do you have some other
We were
one?
born this way.
The women are smarter because we always get back up and we reach down to bring others with us.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Lisa, drop the mic. You just did. All right, fantastic. Ladies, here's what I have to say. This was wonderful. I already said you're amazing, but right now I can't wait to go hear the three of you sing together.
Thank you so much.
And we're going to enjoy it. Yes.
In the moonlight, midnight moonlight. In the moonlight, in the midnight. In the moonlight, midnight moonlight. In the moonlight, in the midnight. In the moonlight, midnight moonlight. In the moonlight, in the midnight. In the moonlight, midnight moonlight.
Thank you for listening to the Women Are Smarter podcast. We will see you in the next episode.